Shooting it raw?
Yes. Shooting it raw. Kendra Dodd. Okay. So it's a photo of the two copies of the same book on a desk. And it says,
Yes.
My 3-year diary.
Yes.
The cover is interesting because it looks almost like it's, what's it called? Like leather. It's like, it almost looks like this leather printed, leather bound book. It's the two books are reddish, so there's like this nice sort of color to it. My 3-year diary in this dark sort of burnt, I don't know, seared kind of imprint onto the leather. Yeah, it's a really interesting presentation. Are you telling me this is your book?
Those are my diaries. So if you look at, I am entering my 4th year journey of writing. So I used to journal every now and then, but I never was dedicated daily. And so daily, this journal, the way it's set up, one page will have year 1 and then year 2, year 3. So today's date is, April 5th. So we'll have April 5th of 2024, 25, 26, or et cetera. So I accomplished last year in 2023, 3 years every day journaling.
Okay.
And it's set up. And so you can look at, so it's really nice. Then you can reflect on the last year and the year prior than that what you were doing during that time. It's very nice. And it's pre-scripted. So it's not that long. It will ask you what was the weather like? What were you feeling within that day? What were the highlights? What were the projects? And what was your key learning for that day?
Okay, so this is your invention or this is something that you bought?
This is something I bought.
Okay.
Yep, it's something I bought.
Now, people normally get to journaling as a tool to wrap their heads around, I don't know, to make sense of their lives, really, which is kind of the essence of the podcast. So what sent you down this road?
Like I said, I knew that journaling was something you should do. I actually, part of my profession is life coaching, career coaching.
Oh.
And so that's part of what I did. But I wanted to be more reflective. This is something I've been wanting to do. And I didn't even know this journal existed. I actually had a friend that had a 5-year, she had a journal that was 5 years and she had completed it. And so I'm like, I didn't know these existed. So I searched and searched and I found this one that you said. It is very nice quality. It's like leather on the outside. It's very durable. It's been everywhere with me. But the most important, it's like the bottom of that journal you see is like a compass. It really provides a guide and reflection and reality, right? It grounds you in your feelings too sometimes. So if I read something and then I look at, how did I feel the year before that or the year before that? It grounds me that I've come farther than I think, or things that I've overcome is better, or things that, I need to let go of that I've been holding on longer than I should have that you don't think you should. So it really creates a grounding compass of the direction you need to go, even on a daily basis.
Kendra, you're speaking my language. You're dropping these amazing bombs in terms of, okay, so you're a life coach. You practice this thing of journaling. So what you don't know about me is that for 15 years, I was working with a very kind of successful leader, right? One of the co-founders of DHL, so Po Chung. And we really looked at the nature of leadership, the nature of service leadership, like of being connected with others. And so in the coaching that I do and in the consulting that I do, one of the big things that we say is journaling can help you clarify your thinking. So in your case, it gives you a historical perspective, but it also gives, in terms of how we talk about it, is that it gives you a kind of a handle on what went through your week or your month or your day, right? So talk to me about your coaching, and also promote it. Like, what is that?
So awesome. Yeah. The name of my company is Fulfilled to Be.
Okay.
So you can journal, fulfill your life to be whatever you want to if you're willing, right? That's kind of the key. And there's tools, there's resources, and you can have aid in that. I think some people can't do that because, one, they may not have experienced that life that they may dream of for it to be reality. So finding to search that, they don't know what their own triggers are and opportunity, but also the reality of that. And so we all need help. No one is an island to themselves. And so getting assistance to that. So some people are hindered because they just don't have the resources to be able to do that.
Hmm.
And so that is what I try to provide is the reflection, what hinders ourselves, what stops ourselves from being able to be successful, what are those roadblocks we create for ourselves, that imposter syndrome,
Hmm.
that can occur, and then just finding those short wins to celebrate. And I think that's what even the journaling does is create that reality of I am better. There are things I can do, but also, like you said, assess that guiding light of moving forward.
So how did you land in this? So one of the things, okay, so one of the things that, because it's audio and it's a podcast, people hear your
Mm-hmm.
voice and they kind of,
Uh-huh.
it's a theater of the mind. So they're kind of imagining,
Right.
what you look like and
Right.
so you have this
Right.
brightness, you have this massive smile. You look at you, you're radiating. How did you become you?
Oh, um, you know, painstakingly. No, how I became me. That's a very good question. I never thought of it that way. Like, how did you become you? I think through the awesomeness. This is going to sound really crazy. The awesomeness of the challenges in my life.
Hmm.
We have challenges in our lives to show the best us and to show direction where we are. And I think some people fall so prey to let our circumstances dictate who we are, but
Hmm.
our circumstances can mold who we are, but it doesn't define. And I think I haven't had it, super easy, right? I paid my way through college. I paid my way through school. I, navigated, through certain things and some
Hmm.
other personal challenges, right? Dysfunction, but that's when you find your inner self and that courageousness to find like
Hmm.
where is my happiness then, right, within myself. And so I think I became me through all of that. And then that is what made me a coach, is that if I can do it, then other people can too.
Hmm.
And so that is what drives me to do what I do, from motivational, I don't like the concept of motivational speaking, but motivational speaking to coaching,
Hmm.
to helping others, and trying to create that legacy. That's actually where, fulfill is a word. And to be, right, to become, right, to be, that's actually, it represents the name of my company, represents actually my legacy. My father's name was actually Phil,
Hmm.
right? So for Phil,
Hmm.
right? You think of that, Phil, it's a play on words, to be, and that all of my children's names start with the letter B. And
Oh.
so to them.
Oh.
So that's just a little bit more of how do we create breaking generational, I would call them strongholds or limits of being better for each generation as well.
Hmm.
And I think that's very important to think about, not just for ourselves. Because if you have children, how can I be better for myself so my children can be better than
Right.
I ever was? Yeah.
Whew. Wow, it's a lot. Okay. So situate me. Okay, so where are you geographically? You're in the central time zone.
I am in Central Time Zone. I am in the United States, and I am in the Midwest. So I'm in the mid region. I'm in Minnesota, not far from Canada.
What is going on that I have had these authors, these people from Minnesota? What is in, and I've asked this before, like, what's in the water that people from Minnesota are like this? This is
There's
crazy.
probably nothing else to do.
It's craziness. Okay, okay. No, amazing. Okay, so I'm just trying to wrap my head around what kind of
Right.
person you are. That okay, so you're starting the conversation with my 3-year diary.
Hmm.
This is a photo that you made of
Hmm.
these two.
That was my accomplishment. Yes. So that was a big milestone. So at the New Year's for me, I was like, I did it. I made it through my 3 years. I kept my promise of writing. or filling it out every day. I wouldn't say there's sometimes I would not do that day because I
Hmm.
write in my entry that morning. So I do a reflection. So I don't write that day that night. I sleep on it. And
Yeah.
then when I wake up that morning, I'll do it. So there's a few days I might have missed, but I always said I will go back and reflect
Hmm.
regardless on the day. So it's more of a concept of reflection. So I did it every day and I'm like, I'm going to do it again. So
Nice.
like I said, I'm on year 3 and I took a picture of it and I just posted of, I never posted during my 3 years.
Hmm.
I was like, I'm going to commit to it. I'm not going to, because sometimes you can put it out in the universe too soon.
Hmm. Hmm.
So let me complete it. But I did put it out and said, hey, I've accomplished this task for myself. And I am going to then do a challenge. I'm putting out in the universe. I'm going to do it again.
Wow.
So that's what the picture that I took that I was very proud that I accomplished one of my goals.
What? So what did you study in college, university? What molded your thoughts?
I studied human resources, so human resource development, and then I was literally one semester away from minoring in psychology.
Okay.
And like I said, I paid my way through school,
Hmm.
and I was not going to go to summer school and pay for that. Let me just walk across the stage and get this done. So I do have a high interest in psychology, and then I was just debating: do I wanted to go into counseling or really go into the field of human resources and development? And so I received my master's in human resources. So I
Okay.
decided to go that route and work in corporate America for a while.
Amazing. So in terms of the overlap, right? If we were to do a Venn diagram of your life and my life,
Right.
the overlap is that for like I said, for 15 years, basically focused on this thing of service leadership, of helping people in a workplace figure out ways to work better together. And that's coaching, and that's understanding like business
Mm-hmm.
processes and better communication, that kind of stuff. So talking about putting things out into the universe in a way like this podcast
Right.
episode,
Right.
right? Like here we
Mm-hmm.
are, we're recording these thoughts because of the shape of the format of the podcast is we kind of go from photo to photo. So is there anything else you'd like to say about this particular image and your two really stunning diaries? I mean, it's a great, yeah, it's a great also testament to your to your 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think all of us, part of this testament too is I said I started this because I had a friend did a 5 year journal. I'm like, I can't commit to that.
Right.
Some people said, right? I mean, let's be realistic. I mean, I'm heading towards that, but in the start, I'm like, I couldn't be her. There may be some people that's listening and like, I can't be her. I can't do 3 years. Well, don't be me.
Yeah.
Do 6 months. Do
Yeah.
1 month. Do a year. And so part of this is my personal development is my personal development. And you have to assess that's right. So even though that sounds like a maybe weighty task for some people when it comes to development, each development should be cookie cutter to your life, not anyone else's.
Yeah.
And so that's probably the only statement I have to make.
So is life really a gift? Really? Can you make every second count? That's the whole point of the podcast. So if you like what you've seen and you're inspired, because that really is my mission, then please give it a like, subscribe, and share.
Shooting it raw?